was created. It wasn't created that we should be able to eat it. A lion was created. We should see how much power a person could bring out of himself in order to serve Hashem.
So it's Jewish, but it's not kosher.
A lion is not kosher. It's Jewish. Whatever Hashem created, it's Jewish. Whatever, it's Hashem's. We are all Hashem's. So now let's start. Gewaltig. Ik geloof me dat hij met de site begon. Omdat hij met de site begon. No, this you're going to have to ask me later, after the sheet.
No, it's been transferred.
So steht da. Parshas Vayayitzai, Tufshi and Payai. B'siyata d'shmaya. In the beginning of the parsha, we see that Yaakov Avinu left Be'er Sheva, and he went to Haran because his father and his mother sent him over there. He should go look for a shidduch, one of the daughters from Luban. He should take to be his future wife, B'siyata d'shmaya. Shkoyach. And Yaakov Avinu first went for 40 years. He was by Shem Ve'ever, and he was Oisik in Torah. He was learning for 14 years, Eitzel Shem Ve'ever, by Shem Ve'ever. Now the question is, Yaakov was already 63 years old, and he had learned already his whole life. Yaakov Ishtam Yoshev Holim, we see last week's parasha. He learned by his father Yitzchak. He also learned by Shem Ve'ever, Yoshev Holim, Shem Ve'ever. Now his father sends him to go, and he should have chasana. He should go and find his shidduch. And he goes for 40 years, and he's hidden by Shem Ve'ever, and he learns over there again Torah. Wasn't he already enough Talmud Chuchim in order to be able to get chasana? So they say in the name of the Ostrov Tzerebe. They also say in the name of Agur Rabbi Yaakov Kamenetsky, Zitzal, that both of them said the Gewaldige Yesod. Yaakov had learned Torah, how it is to be a Jew, an ehrliche Jew, a Haredi Jew, when you live in Eretz Yisrael, close to his father Yitzchak, in a generation, in a community that is everything is Ovdei Hashem, ehrliche Yidden. Now he knows he's heading to Choran. He's going to where Luvan lives. The whole community over there, Ovdei Aveira, Ovdei Avodah Zura. He has to take extra strength how to deal with such how to stay in his madrege, even he's going to be surrounded with so many bad people. So he went again to Shem Ve'ever. Shem Ve'ever were the ones, Shem survived the Doira Mabel. He knew the Doira Mabel. And Ever was in the time of the Doira Fluge. So those were two generations that were Ovdei Aveira. And they stayed over the Hashem. They were strictly ehrliche Yidden. So Yaakov went again for 40 years to Shem Ve'ever. They should teach him how he should stay an ehrliche Yid, even by being next to Luvan. He should be able to say when he comes back, "Im Luvan Garti." I lived there for 40 years, and as Rashi quotes next week, "What's Garti? Taryag mitzvah shemarti." I still kept all the 630 mitzvahs. And that's why it's not even a problem. He had the tzivi of kibbutz avuhem to go there, to go to Huron. And why did he go first 40 years to Shem Ve'ever? So Rabbi Yaakov Kamenetsky gives a nice mushal. If a father tells his child, he should go and buy him an estrik, a kosher, nice estrik. Now the child doesn't know yet all of the haluchas. What are the haluchas of a kosher estrik? So he can't go and buy. So he first goes to shul, and he sits down learning a few hours all the haluchas of a kosher estrik, and then he goes buying. Is that considered that he pushed off the mitzvah of kibbutz av? Adarabah. He started right away off doing kibbutz dav. What's the way? First, he should know what he has to buy, and then he could go and buy a kosher esrog. So if he was sent by his father, Yitzchak, to go to Luvon, he was sent there in order to get chasana, to have chasana over there, get married, and he should come back and earn l'chayid, Yaakov. So he has to learn first how you stay over there, how you stay strictly an earn l'chayid, even though you're surrounded with so many bad people. So you have to go first to Shem ve'eva. They should teach him how to be there, even in every situation, in every matzah. And that's what the Ostrovtze says. The Parshas Vayeshev, it says by Yosef. Yosef was a ben zikunim. So Rashi brings down a few pshatim, a ben zikunim. One pshat is kol ba shalomad b'shem ve'ever osaloi. Whatever he learned from Shem ve'ever, he gave over to Yosef. Only for Yosef he gave over? Didn't he teach all of his children Torah? And why only what he learned from Shem ve'ever and what he learned from his father Yitzchak he didn't give over? So he explains gewaldig. What he learned from Yitzchak, the whole Torah, he gave over to all of his children. What he learned from Shem ve'ever, how to stay in ehrliche Yid, even when you're surrounded with bad people, he knew B'riach HaKodesh that Yosef was going to be the one going down to Mitzrayim. So he has to know how to keep himself an ehrliche Yid. So what he learned from Shem ve'ever, those 14 years, that was what he gave over to his son Yosef. He should be able to keep himself even when he's going to be in Mitzrayim and when it's surrounded with the bad Mitzrayim.
Let's say Torah, the Chuppah lesson,
Uh-huh.
you get married and you have all this up to me, 12 kids. And you say, this is my time to stay. Because once I get married, I have 12 kids. And I'm never going to have learning like this.
1 second, gewaldig. Buri gaat wat je nou, alle jene melech gewelam shakel nie bedvoroi. The Bari is saying, they say it in the name of the Chidah. The Chidah brings down in the Sefer Nachal Kedumim. He brings it down, I don't remember B'Shem whom, B'Shem someone before the Chidah. He brings down like this, that actually he was sent to go to Huram to get married, and he went first 40 years to Shem ve'ever. Why? He explains like this. The Gemara brings the stire in a few places. Masechta Kiddushin, if a person should first learn Torah and then get married, or rather the opposite, first he should get married and then he should learn Torah, because Torah after you're married is a higher level. It's Torah b'tahara. It's a more pure Torah. On the other side, the Gemara says, if you are married already, you have Rechaim al Tzavoro. You have on your head that you have to bring Parnasseh, and it distracts you from being able to learn. So that's why Rechaim al Tzavoro, he can be Oisig B'Torah, he should first be Oisig B'Torah. The Gemara brings down a steer, and the Gemara says, it's no steer, it depends. Hu long, v'holahu. Depends B'nai Eretz Yisrael and B'nai Bovel. And there's a few pshatim in the hu long, v'holahu. Rabbi Nitam explains that B'nai Eretz Yisrael were rich. The Israeli people were more rich than the B'nai Bovel. So the Israeli B'nai Eretz Yisrael, they were rich. So they don't have such a problem of Parnasseh. So first they should get married, and then they could learn Torah, B'tahara, and they have Parnasseh. B'nai Bovel, they were poor, aniyim. So if they're going to have chasana first, and they're going to have the oila Parnasseh, it won't work out good. So that's where, so they won't be able to learn. So they should first be learning, and then they should get married. So says the Chidu Gevaldik. When Yaakov left his father Yitzchak, he was a rich boy. His father gave him along whatever he needed. So he could go and have chasana, and he's going to be able to be mamshech learning after the chasana. Yaakov felt he still has missing, he has to still learn a little bit. But once Eliphaz chased after him, and he took away all of his money. He told him, even though your father told you, Esav told you should kill me, Ani Choshev Kemes. So that's why it's killing you every kind the tzivah of your father. And he was the Ani. He had no more money. He was poor. Now, if he's going to go and have chasana, he won't be able to learn like it has to be. So he understood he still has to finish his learning. If he wants to learn for 40 years, B'Shem ve'ever, and then he could go and have chasana. I want to say something that has with the end of the parsha, and then we're going to get back to the beginning of the parsha. The end of the parsha is where Yaakov is on his way back to Eretz Yisrael. It says in the Pasuk, when he's coming back to Eretz Yisrael, it says, "V'Yaakov hulach ledarkoi." Yaakov was going on his way back to Eretz Yisrael. Vayivgu boy malachei Elokim. He, how do you say Vayivgu? He met up. He was Vayivgu boy. He encountered. They encountered him. Malachei Elokim. And when Yaakov saw them, he called the place Machanoim. Two machnes of Maluchim. So they say in the name of Reb Pinchas Koritzer, Zeichet Tzadik Levrucha, a remez in this pasuk. A person shouldn't be looking out for madreges. He wants to be a big bal madrege. That's a matona. If you get madreges, it's a matona that you got from Shemayim, from Hashem. We have to be avodim. We have to be servants. Serve Hashem as the Eved. Avoidas Oved. Serve him as the Eved. The Apterov brings down in the Sefer Oyev Yisrael that tzaddikim, they really would want to stay their whole life avodim. Serve Hashem as a Eved. With Eskafye means you have an Isoyan, and every time you have to fight the Yitzhak. But Hashem wants them, they should come to a higher level. So He gives them madreges. It's a matona. So from now on, their avoidas matona, etnaski and aschem. They don't have such big nisyonis. This is what Hashem wants, so they take it. Because they also serve Hashem with this. But they really wouldn't want it. They would want to stay avodim nemonim to Hashem. Serving Him, fighting the Yitzhak day on, to go, day and night. So he says like this, the Reb Pinchas Koritzer, that a person shouldn't have and make these cheshbonis. He should be only seeking to serve Hashem as it comes his way. And if Hashem wants to give him a matuna, he's going to get it. So he says, V'Yaakov hulach ledarkoi. Yaakov was going on his way. He wasn't looking for madreges, for maluchim. He was going on his way serving Hashem, derech ha'toyre v'amitzvahs. Vayivgu boy malach Elokim. Suddenly, it encountered him, the malach Elokim, all of the holy maluchim and the holy madregis encountered to him, but he wasn't looking for that. And he brings down a story in the Pinchas Koritzer. He says there was once a Yid that was davening very much that he wants to have Ruach HaKodesh. And he was davening so much for Ruach HaKodesh, and at the end his tefillah was accepted. But tefillah is only half. So he got the Ruach and he didn't get Kodesh. That was what he said. He got the Riach, that means he was, but he didn't get the Kodesh. So you don't have to be looking for Ruach HaKodesh. You have to do what you have to do. And we see it also at the beginning of the Parsha. Yaakov goes to sleep and he sees a Silam, Mutzav Arzo, Roisha Magia Shemaymu. This shows the Silam of Avodas Hashem. It's a very, very tall Silam. Even if you go one step on the Silam, you're already on your way up. Then you go another step, another step. If you want to give a jump, usually you fall down. But if you go step by step, they call it in English, slowly but surely. That's how you have to go. Hilichach tehei v'nachas, says the Toldos Yaakov Yosef. Your hiliche, we say it in the Zemiras from Shabbos. Your hiluch should be benachas, slowly. Hilichach tehei v'nachas. That's the way how it's Meshivas Nofesh.
One rung at a time.
One. Yaakov was going the darker step by step. If Hashem wants in the middle that he should get a lot of madregas, so he's going to accept it, but that's not the dark that he was looking for. We see that the pasuk mentions Yaakov went out from Be'er-Sheva and he went to Choron. So the pasuk mentions both Chalukim. He's going out from Be'er-Sheva and he's walking, is arriving to Choron. Why? So they say in the name of the Beis HaLevi from Brisk, and also other Mefarshim say this. Sometimes when a person goes from one place to the other, the reason why he is going is because he has to be over there. He has a meeting over there. He has to go from Yerushalayim to Bnei Barak. He has to meet someone in Bnei Barak. So he's going away from Yerushalayim is not the purpose. The purpose is arriving to Bnei Barak. Sometimes a person has to run away. He's being chased after. He has to flee. He has no way. He's looking where to go. So he's going, let's say, to Bnei Barak or to Meron. His idea is not being there. His idea is to flee home, not to be at home, because he has a lot of redifus if he is at home. Over here by Yaakov, it was interesting because his father and his mother sent him away. Last week, it says in Pasuk, Vayishma Yaakov, El Ovi ve'el Imoy. What's the El Ovi ve'el Imoy? Pashtus? Father and his mother. Well, there were two reasons. Rachel Imeinu, she knows that Esav wants to kill Yaakov, but she didn't tell Yitzchak. The Rechaim HaKodesh quotes last week, she didn't tell Yitzchak because of the issue of Lashon Hara. She understood that it won't be anything else by Yitzchak knowing that his Tachshet Esav wants to kill Yaakov. So she didn't tell him, but she wanted Yaakov should go away. So she came up with a solution. She told her husband Yitzchak, Yaakov has to find the shidduch. Send him to my brother Lavan, he's going to be a choron. But by Rivka, the main reason was that Yaakov should flee away from Be'er Sheva. He shouldn't be over here next to Esau. Yitzchak, they didn't know that he has to run away. By him, the ikar reason was he should go over there and have chasana. Vayishma Yaakov el Ovid el Imoy. The going away was the purpose, and the going to Choron was the purpose. Vayetze Yaakov mi Be'er Sheva. Vayelech Haran. Two purposes was over here. By his going, every step that he was going, he was becoming further from Be'er Sheva, running away from Esau, and coming closer to Choron to getting married. So he was Mekayim, Koilovim and Koilimai. By every step, he was Mekayim, Kibbut Av and Kibbut Em, going away further from Esau and getting closer to having Chasana. Now I saw in Sefer Dorash Moshe from Rav Moshe Feinstein Zitzal, he says that the Pasuk wants to teach us another Zach. Sometimes people could think that it's Bashert. We know that everything is Bashert, meaning, how do you say Bashert in English? It's Menashomayim. What? Meant to be, gewaldig, meant to be. Everything is meant to be from Hashem. Now, sometimes a person could think only the major thing, the tachlis, the purpose, but all of the steps in between, who says that this is everything meant to be exactly how it is? Lemushel. When a person is going to look for a shidduch, Yaakov was going for a shidduch. You could say his going to Choron was meant to be exactly, he should be a Choron, getting married to the daughters of Lavan, Leah, Ruchel. But on the way, that's only a Timtze to get there, but there's no tachlis in every psiyah, in every step that he's going and he's arriving to Choron. The Torah teaches us no. Everything is meant to be b'hashgacha pratis from Hashem. Not only the tachlis, just every step. Vayetze Yaakov ve'Be'er Sheva, vayelech Haran. By going to Choron, every step, there was an avodah. Yaakov was serving Hashem with every step that he was doing. Vayelech Haran. We have to know this regarding everything. First, I want to say that I once saw the Ben Yehoyada. The Ben Ish Chai has a sefer Ben Yehoyada. It brings down that the Gemara in the beginning of the Masechta Bruchas brings down a story. Tanya, Rabbi Yossi said, "Pam achas oisi mahalach bederech." Once I was walking bederech, and I had to stop to daven, and I was afraid maybe people are gonna disturb me while I'm davening. So I found a churva over there. So I went into the churva and I davened over there. It's all like Gemara Barichis, but the Gemara I'm only going to quote the chelik that's negayah to what we are talking now. Eliyahu Yanuvi came there and he was standing outside the churva, waiting. Rabbi Yossi should finish davening. When he came out, Eliyahu Yanuvi asked Rabbi Yossi, "Why did he go into the churva daven? Why didn't you daven over here, in the middle of the road? Because in the churva you shouldn't go in, because it's a sakana. Mazikin could be there." So Rabbi Yossi answers him, "Misyara Yisi, Shema Yafsikini Oivre Derochem." I was afraid that people that they go through over here, they're going to disturb me in the middle of davening. They're going to be me mafsik. So Shema Yafsikuni Oivre Derochem. So the Ben Ish Chai, the Ben Yehoyada says, why does he start Pa'amachas Yisi Mahalech Bederech? He calls himself a Hoylech Bederech. And when he says, I was afraid I'm going to be disturbed, I'm going to be bothered, he says, Shema Yafsikini Oivre Deruchim. Over you say Hoylche Deruchim, and over you say Oivre Deruchim. So he explains the Gewaldige Yisoid. It has to do to what we spoke before. Oivre Deruchim means a person that he knows he has to get somewhere. And the whole way that he is going, it's just Aichetimtze, it's just a way how to be able to get there, but it's no tachlis every step in what he is doing. If a person is a hoylech derochem, he knows every psiyah, every step. He has to have a purpose by arriving there, but there's also a purpose every psiyah that he is going. A person that's a hoylech bederech, if he sees someone davening in the middle, he won't pass by, even though maybe you're in a rush, you have something very, very important, but there's something important now too. By every step that I'm doing, I'm saving Hashem, and now saving Hashem means not to go and to wait till this person finishes davenings. So if there would be Hoylchei Deruchim, I would be able to daven outside on the road. V'siyara yisi shema yafsikini oivre deruchim. Those people that they only want to arrive there. The whole derech is only a ma'avar. It's only a way, it's only to jump it over and get to the place where I want to be. So those people won't have the time and they won't wait, and maybe they're going to disturb me. So Rabbi Yossi calls himself Mahalach B'derech because he was Oilchet Deruchim, and he's afraid that he's going to be disturbed by the Oivre Deruchim. And this is what we have to know. Sometimes a person waits for a Yeshua, for a salvation. He needs a shidduch. He's waiting for a refuah. He's waiting to a deal should go through. He should have money. He should be able to live. And he's waiting long, and he's doing all of the ishtadlus, and it takes time. It could have taken a week, and sometimes it takes maybe 5 months. And people look at it, sometimes they could look at it as wasted time. These few months, it was wasted. The ikar was that I got to the tachlis. It's not wasted time. Everything had the matura. Every minute that it took you to get there is also a part of the tachlis. Everything is meant to be bashguche prutis. And even when you're looking to reach, to achieve a madrege in Torah mitzvahs and avodas Hashem, and you fight on the way with the Yitzhar until you achieve it, anything that you want to achieve in Ruchnius, is also, all of the steps is part of the avodas Hashem that you have to do in order to get there. It could be sometimes quick, it could take time, but you shouldn't look at it as wasted time, and it's only a way, an opportunity how to get there. It's a tachlis for itself.
I think that's why there's so many malachim. Malachim were
Very nice. He said that Baluchim, that's why they're oimdim. And we are holchim. The whole time we're getting closer and closer and closer. Yeah. Yaakov goes to sleep, and he sees this big cholam. He sees a sulam mitzav arzo, v'roisha magia shemoimu. As we spoke before, a ladder, it's mitzav arzo, roisha magia shemoimu, malach alekim oilim v'yordim boy. Now we see in the Midrashim a lot of things, what he was shown over there by this cholam, by this dream, what the silim, to what does it refer? What does it, how do you say it? Resemble? No. Resemble, yeah, is that correct? What does it resemble, the silam? You see a lot of, I want to quote what I saw in the Sefer Zera Shimshon. The holy Zera Shimshon brings down on this pasuk that when Yaakov gets up from his dream, he says, Ma noira amokai mazeh. Ein zeki in Beis Elikim. It's so, how do you say noira in English?
Awesome.
Awesome. How awesome is this holy place? Ein zeki in Beis Elikim. This is nothing other than a Beis Elikim v'zeh shara shemayim. So the Zera Shimshon says, why did he say in such a way? Ein zeki in Beis Elikim. He's saying clearly in the negative. This is nothing else, only the Beis Elikim. He should say, Zeh Beis Elikim. This is the Beis Elikim. The word ein and the two words ki'im is l'choire extra. He shouldn't have said ein zeh ki'im Beis Elikim. He should say Zeh Beis Elikim. That's what the Zera Shimshon asks. And the holy Zera Shimshon answers. And he's also asking, what's the Lashon ma noira? Ma noira means to say, it's very awesome. Pachad ma. Ma is kilu afloge. Beyoiser. He brings down that the Bes Yosef brings B'Shem Aguis Mordche in Ilches Tisha B'Av, that there are people that Tisha B'Av at night, when they go to sleep, they put a stone behind their head. The remez is, for the Pasik, in this week's Parsha, Vayikach Ma'avnei Amokoim. Yaakov Avinu, when he went to sleep, he took Ma'avnei Amokoim, and the Midrash says that he saw over there the Beis Hamikdash, because it says, Ma Noira Amukim Hazeh, he saw the Chorban. That, and because he saw them the Chorban, that's why we should also take a stone and lie on a stone on Tisha B'Av at night. Now the Midrash also brings down what he saw over there by this Cholam. The Midrash brings over there, this is the Lashon, that Hashem showed him the whole Beis Hamikdash. Silam refers to the Kevesh. Mitzav Arzo, this is the Mizbeach. Mizbach Adom Tasali, so that's Mutzav Arzo. Roishu Magia Shemayim, those are the Karbonos. Malach Elikim, those are the Kehanim, that they do the Avoid at the Mizbeach. So one of the Pshatim the Medrash brings down is that he was shown over there the avoid in the Beis Hamikdash, the Mizbeach, and the whole avoid of the Beis Hamikdash. Now, he asked the Zera Shimshon, but who told for the Aguas Mordche that he was shown the Churban? The Midrash brings down that he saw over there the avoid of the Beis Hamikdash, the Mizbeach and the avoid, but who says that he saw the Churban? So he says, Gewaltig the Zera Shimshon. In these words we see that he saw the Churban. Why? Because in the beginning he takes the posik and he splits it into three. He says like this, the Zera Shimshon. Ma noira amukim hazeh. This refers to the Beis Hamikdash that Yaakov Avinu saw. Ma noira amukim hazeh. It's so awesome, this place. And right afterwards he says, Ein zeh. I don't see it anymore. It's gone. I don't see the Beis Hamikdash. And when do I see it again? The third Beis Hamikdash that's going to be built by Hashem. Ki'im Beis Halekim. The one that's going to be Beis Halekim, the one that's going to be created by Hashem. The Mikdash HaShlishi that's going to be Bonu, Umashuchlal, and it's going to come down from Shemayim. This is the one that's going to have Akiyim. This is the Beis Halekim. But V'zeh Shara Shemayim. I also see that in all matzuvim, in all situations, over here is going to be the Shara Shemayim, where all tefillahs are going to go up. Like we know from Chazal, the Midrash says, La'olam lezaz ha'shchina mekois lamaruvi, that the kois lamaruvi always is over there, Ashuras ha'shchina, and it's the Shara Shemayim. So Lafi Zeh, the Zera Shimshon says, from here the Aguas Motche took that he saw the Chorban. He says in the beginning, Ma noira amukoy mazeh. I see over here the Beis Hamikdash, it's awesome. But then I see Ein Zeh, and it doesn't have a kiyim, it's going to be a Chorban. And what do I see? What's going to have a kiyim? Kiyim Beis Halekim. But in all cases, with there Shara Shemayim, over here the Shara Shemayim. We speak about the Silam. There's so many remozim on what the Silam refers. I saw once in the Sefer Ateres Yeshia from Reb Shia Lejikevir. He brings down that he once dreamt. This is also a dream. And he dreamt once on Shabbos Parshas Vayetze that Sulam is Rosh Tevis Samech Mesechtois Lilmoid. The 60 Mesechtes of Shas, we have to learn it. Samech Mesechtes Lilmoid. That's the whole Shishis Sidra Mishnah. We can understand it. I think he also brings it down. Vayikatz Yaakov Mishnoso, he got up from his sleep. The Midrash says he shouldn't say Mishnosoi, Elomi Mishnosoi. From his learning. He got up from his learning. Vayikatz Yaakov Mishnosoi, Mi Mishnosoi from his learning. Because Yaakov was so dwelling in learning that even when he slept, 14 years he didn't lie down. Only here's the first time. Vayishkav b'mokem ahi. It's now the first time that he lied down. So Yaakov, the first time lying down after 40 years, what is he sleeping? He's learning in his sleep. Mimishnosoi. I once saw of the tzaddik Reb Neshilem Rat. Says the gewaltige Zach, Mishnosoi. Why do Chazal say Mimishnosoi? Why can't you say normally, Vayikatz Yaakov, he woke up, Mishnosoi, from his sleep? Says the gewaltige Zach, Shino, sleeping, is a hadr. It's not a metzias. It's a, how do you say hadr in English? It's a noun. It's not a
Passive.
again.
Is it passive?
Passive. There's a metzias, a yesh, and there's a ayin. Nothing.
A lack.
A lack. Oh. Sleeping is a lack. It's not a pa'ula that you do. It's like a hadr, a lack. So how could you consider a lack to a person? Mishnosoi, his sleep. With what is the sleep his? How is he coined the sleep? It should have said, Vayikatz Yaakov Mashina. He got up from his sleep. What's Mishnosoi? You call it his sleep, but what is it? His, the vav. So that's why Chazal say Mishnosoi. From his learning. Learning, that's considered the person's. It's his Torah. If it's a Rasoi, it's his Torah. He's learning the Torah. That's Mishnosoi. So we see over here, again, to the Ateres Yeshua, Samech Mesechtes Lilmoid. And we don't have to jump to finish the whole Shas. It's a big gewaldige avoide. When we start learning the first Mesechta Mishnayis, we're already on the first step. And we have to look at ourselves by learning the first Mesechta Mishnayis, the first Mesechta Gemara, starting the first daf of the Gemara. I'm already on this ladder. True. There is thousands and thousands of steps, but a step at a time, taking a Perik Mishnayis at a time, a Blad Gemura, Dav Gemura at a time, and I'm already holding on this gewaltige Silam of Samech Mesechtes Lilmoid, that it's Mutzavarza, it starts from the ground, but v'roisham agia shamayim. I also saw once that the holy original says, he says a remez in Silam, that it refers to the seed of Malava Malke. And he says, Sulam is Rosh Tevis, Seudas Levoyes Malkese. The Suda of being Malava. How do you say in English Malava?
Accompanying, escorting.
Escorting. Oh, accompanying, escorting. Malava Levoyas Malkes. To be Malava the Malke. That's Sulam. So the original says, Mutzav Arzo. You look at it as if it's Mutzav Arzo, because you do the Side by eating, drinking. Arzi is, Gashmi is the Gezachen. But truly, it arrives, it goes up, it chuckles. The roishoy of this Silo Mitzvah Arze Magi Hashemayim, till Hashemayim. When a malach alekim oilim v'yoydim boy. He explains that everybody has a neshama during the week, and you have a neshama yesera on Shabbos. On every Friday, the regular neshama goes away, and the neshama yesera comes in. And on Motzei Shabbos, we are escorting the neshama yesera, and the regular neshama during the week is coming back. So malach alekim, the holy neshama is oilim. First the neshama yesera is going up. The yoydim boy and the regular neshama comes back. That's when, by the seed of Malava Malke. Sulam, Sudas, Levoyes Malkese, that's when Malach Alekim al Oidim Beyoidim boy. I once said from the Beyan the Rebbe Shlita that it's not only Marimas in the Sulam, we could see it Marimas in the Parsha also of the beginning. Vayetze Yaakov Mibein Shova refers when a Yid goes out from Shabbos. Be'er Shova is considered Shabbos. Shabbos is the 7th day, and Shabbos is the Be'er, is the Mayan, the well, not the well. The well of the Shefa, the whole Shefa of the week is from Shabbos. When a person goes out from Be'er Shova, the well of Shabbos, what approaches him? What comes to him? Charana, that's the Yemoy Sachoil, Charoy Naf, as the Rechaim HaKudish quotes. Charana is the remes for Charoy Naf. We start right away, Motzei Shabbos. V'yirachim mechaper ovoin, v'hir b'lo hoshiv apoy, v'lo yoy kol chamosoy, the Af v'cheim are coming against us during the week. So vayelech Harona, the Charoy Naf comes. What's the Eitze? Vayivga b'mokoim. First, he should be davening. We should daven for the week that it should be with a lot of atzlocha. Tzadikim said on the posik, Al zois yispal kol chosid eilecha le'eis mitzoi. Every chosid should daven to you for the eis mitzoi. So the Gemara has a lot of pshat to what's eis mitzoi. Shidduch, matzah isha, matzah toiv. Le'eis mitzoi means a shidduch, other pshatim. But tzadikim said le'eis mitzoi refers to matzah Shabbos. When the Shabbos goes out, le'eis mitzoi, we should be davening and asking Hashem that the ashpu of the Shabbos, the chef of Shabbos, should stay within us till the next week. So vayiv gabamokoim, Yankov makes a tefillah over there and he davens, and then is the hemshech, the sulam, the sidas levoyes malkese, it's mutzav arzo, v'roisham agia shemayim, and the malach elakim, the both the shumas, exchange them. The malach, the regular neshama comes back, and the shuma yisayde goes up till next week. Shabbos, that's when it comes back. Yankov, after this gewaltige Cholen, he arrives to Choron, and he sees over there the shepherds sitting and waiting to give to drink for the sheep. And he wants to start the conversation with them, and he starts off and he tells them, Achai, ma'ayin atem, from where are you? So they tell him, Mechuran anochni. Then he asks them if they know Luvam. They tell him, yeah, we know him. Then he goes and he tells them, hey, no, there's still a lot of time. Why are you sitting over here with how do you call it, with
Arms crossed.
Yeah, arms crossed. You should be working now. You're probably getting paid for the whole day. It's still early in the day. It's not the time now to collect all the sheep, the mikne, hashkuat, so you give them to drink, and go on. You have to give them to eat for the tzoyin, for the sheep. Until they explained them that the reason is because they have to wait. There should be a lot of shepherds, all of the royim, and they have to take down the big stone that's on the be'er. So they say in the name of the Ponevisherov. It's a known word. Yaakov is just there for a few seconds, and he starts giving misir. What's going on with you? Hey, no, da yom godoil, lo yesa osef amikne, hashku atzoyne lechure u. And they still even answer him nicely. What the reason? How did it? They should have told him, could you hit the road? I don't know. What do you want from our life here? If the stranger arrives and he has to say dayis, the Dvonijirov says, he started off by saying, Achai, my brothers. Achai ma'ayinatem. That's how he started off the conversation. You're my brother. From where are you? We are from Huron. Once the conversation starts off with brothers, with ahava, with love, and you give the person a good feeling, then you can ask whatever, because he understands that when you ask, you're not meaning to tease him. You're just meaning the good. You want to understand. If you start off with giving a compliment, Achai ma'ayinatem, then you could go ahead and you could ask him whatever you want. The Pasuk says, Yaakov arrived to Lavan's house, and he wanted to get married to Rachel. So he made up with him that he's going to work 7 years to marry his daughter Rachel. So the Pasuk says first, Ve'ein eleyu rakois, v'Rachel oisu yefas toya v'yefas mare. The eyes of Leah were rakois. How do you say rakois? Soft, red-eyed, because she was tender eyes. And why was it rakois? So Rashi says, because all the people were saying, the Hagdoila Legodl, the big girl of Lavan is going to be marrying Esav. Vaktana Lekot, and the small one is going to marry Yaakov. So she didn't want to marry Esav. She was crying the whole time. And Ruchel, on the other hand, was always happy. Now, the Gemara asks in Masechet Bava Basra, how could it be that the Torah should speak about Laya something negative, such a tzedekis, and we say about her, Ve'ein Elei Rakois, her eyes were tender eyes. The Gemara answers that the reason was, as we said now, Rashi brings down, she was crying that she shouldn't have to marry Esav. But the kasha is still there. Emes. We know the reason why she was crying, but still, it's a genus. It's not a mala, that her eyes were tender, rakois. And the Gemara even says, we see that the Torah is so makbet to speak nice, that once the Torah is ma'akim 8 letters, not to say a dover megina. In Parashas Noach, instead of saying asabeimu atmeyu, it says asher anenu tohoyre. That's not tohoyre. It doesn't say tomeyu. Why? Because the Torah wants to teach us how you should watch your language, and you should have a nice language, and rather say einenu tohoyre than saying tomei. And I've heard the pasuk says ve'ein elei rakos, but that's what the Gemara answers. And what's the pshat? So I saw a gewaldige pshat. The Chassam Sofer brings down a chiddush, a Masech Tesik, in the chiddush Chassam Sofer, it brings down that a esrik, even though a esrik that's a menumer is not kosher, but a esrik that's being b'meshach the yom tov sikis, it gets, how do you call it? By touching a lot and squeezing it, it gets bruised, they call it. Yeah? A bruised esrik. It's not a problem of pre-Eitz Hodor, even though it's nechoire. If you would start over the Yom Tov Sukkos with such a esrik, it's a chisorn. It's not a pre-Eitz Hodor. But if it happened b'meshach the Yom Tov by holding the esrik and doing naniyim with the esrik and saying howl with the esrik and being happy with Hashem by holding the Dalad Minim, all of those bruises are not a chisorn. Adarabba says the Chassam Sofer. That makes it for a more hodor. That's a nice esrik. Ze hoida, ve ze hadora, from the esrik, the hoid v'hodor, that Yidden took it, and they were menay neya, and they did the mitzvah of Dalad Minim with this lilev and esrik. So the feed this Chassam Sofer, you can explain this ve'ein elei rakos. If a person has tender eyes, it's take a chisoron. But this is what the Gemara answers. How could it be? The Torah should say a negative thing, a dover megina. But if the Gemara answers that the reason why it was tender, before she wasn't tender eyes, the reason why it became so because she was crying, that's considered beautiful eyes. That's considered nice eyes because she did it for a mitzvah. And that's why the Targum Inkelis says on the Eine Leio Rakois, Ve'ene leyo yuayon. They were nice, beautiful. How could you say Arakos yuayon? Na ashonim. Vayiyu be'enov ki yomim achodim be'avosei oisa. Because he loved her, he liked her so much, it was be'im ki yomim achodim. Like a few days. He brings down that Yaakov Avini, we see in this week's parsha that he was mesaken tfilas arvis. Yeah, Vayivka b'mokoim, he was mesaken tfilas arvis. But in Medrash, in Parshas Vayechi, in Medrash Rabbe, is brought down the lashon that Yaakov, he made the mitzvah of Kriyas Shema. Kriyas Shema, Shachris and Arvis, we have from Yaakov, he was the first. And we know the Gemara, it's a Gemara in Peirik Mokim Shenu Agu, in Masech the Psochim. It's also a Medrash over there, that when Yaakov Avini called all of his children, and he wanted to be Megala the Achris Hayomim, he asked for V'agido lachem, es asher yikra eschem Achris Hayomim, the Shechina went away, Nistalka man Shechina, and Yaakov was afraid, and he said, maybe there's a psil bebonai, maybe the reason why the Shechina went away from me, because one of my children, or a few of them aren't how they should be, aren't beseder. So they all of them cried out together, all of the children, and they said, Shema Yisrael, Hashem Elokeinu, Hashem Echad. They referred Yisrael to the Father. Our Father Yisrael, listen. Kishem she'ein belibcha Elo Echad. Like in your heart, there's only Hashem Echad. Kach ein belibenu Elo Echad. We only have Hashem Elokeinu, Hashem Echad. We only have one. So that was when Yaakov answered, and he said, Baruch Shem Kivod Malchis Eloheinu Buet. The Gemara then goes on, and the Gemara says what we should do. Moshe Rabbeinu, when he gives us Shema Yisrael and Parshas V'Eschanon, he doesn't say Baruch Shem. He says Shema Yisrael Echad ve'ahavta. But we know that Yaakov did say before Baruch Shem. How should we do? So that's why the Gemara brings the Pshara. We say it quietly. We don't say it out loud. We say it quiet because Moshe didn't say it. But the beginning of Shema Yisrael and Baruch Shem was Yaakov with his children. Before Yaakov was Nifter, he gave us tools. He knew that his children are going to go down to Mitzrayim. How we should be able to keep ourselves in Mitzrayim and the whole keep of the Golos. Like he made the Tfilas Arvis, that's in the Choshech, in the Arvis, he was Mesaken, Vayivga B'mokoim and Tfilah, that we should make and that should keep Klal Yisrael in the Matzah when it's dark, it's Choshech, it's Arvis, it's Erbuvye, it's confusing, everything is confusing. I should be able to daven to Hashem. That's the Koach of Yaakov, Vayivga B'mokoim. He also made the mitzvah of Kriyas Shema. And the Medrash even quotes the Lashon that Klal Yisrael in all the generations, when they get up in the morning and at night they say Shema Yisrael, it refers Shema Yisrael Avinu Mima'oras HaMachpelah. Yaakov Avinu, that you're lying in Ma'oras HaMachpelah, listen to what we are saying. We still have your Koach, Hashem Elokeinu, Hashem Echad. So Yaakov was the one that made this Shema Yisrael Hashem Elokeinu, the mitzvah of Kriyas Shema. The Kamarni goes and he says, Yaakov was going to have Chassan over here. Oh, the Chadish Shurim says that when Yaakov took the stones and he put them around his head, there's a machloikis in Medrash how many stones he took. One man, the Umar says he took 12 stones because he knew B'riach HaKodesh that is going to be man with 12 Shvatim. So he took 12 stones, put them around his head. The Chadish Shurim says that the 12 stones are the 12 words. Shema Yisrael Hashem Elokeinu Hashem Echad Baruch Shem Kivod Malchiso Eloheinu Buet. Those 12 words. This is what he took around his head. It was like Kriyas Shema before you go to sleep. Akoyre Kriyas Shema al mitosoi. But more than that, he was approaching, going to Charon to have chasana, to get married and be mamid. Told those the Yid Beis Shiftei the 12 Shvatim. So when he goes and he tells Lavan, I want to marry your daughter Ruchel, he was always waiting how to serve Hashem, to bring down the 12 neshumas, the Shiftei, they should be serving Hashem, Shema Yisrael. Says the Kamar, the Gevaldik, if you're going to make the gematria of this posik, Vayavoid Yaakov berochel sheva shonim, Vayiu be'enov ki yomim achodim be'avosoi oisa. This whole posik is big gematria, 2,476. Exact, the same like Shema Yisrael, Hashem Elokeinu, Hashem Echad, Baruch Shem, Kivod Malchis Eloheinu Buet. Yaakov was working 7 years to marry Ruchel, but what did he have in mind? Shema Yisrael, Hashem Elokeinu, Hashem Echad, Baruch Shem Kivod Malchis Elohim Buet. Maybe we have to finish already, so I'm going to just finish with this Seforne. No, I want to say a Seforne and a Sefer Chasidim. The Seforne brings down a gewaltige Sache. In the end of the Parsha, after Yaakov and Luvon were departing, they were, how do you say, Preda? They were separating one of the other. It says, Vayashkem Luvon Baboiker, Vayanashik Levonov Levnoisov, he kissed his daughters and his children. His children means his Einiklich, Riva, Shimon, Levi. Vayavorach Hashem, he blessed them. Then he went back to his own. Why does the Torah have to tell us that Lavan blessed his children? Vayavorach Hashem, he blessed his Einiklich. Ah, gewaltig. Leah Rochel, the two Tzitkoniois, got a brocha from the father Lavan. And Einiklich Riva Shimon got a brocha from the Zaydi Lavan. It's a gewaltige Gedilla, huh? Says the Sforne gewaltige Werte. Sforne says like this. We know that Chazal say, Alti birchas hedyet kala beinecha. Even a brocha from a hedyet shouldn't be kala beinecha. It shouldn't be easy. We could never know. Even more than that, he says. That the Torah wants to tell us, Sipe, the Torah tells us, birchas lovel evnoisov, lehoirois, to teach us. She birchas u'av, asher hi albonov, the brucha that a father gives his children, or a Zayde gives his Einiklich, bechol nafshoi, he gives it with his whole nefesh, beli sofik, ro shetochel yoisir. Without any doubt, it has a gewaltige power to be chal, because it's a brocha that a father gives his children a Zayde to the Einiklich, because it's from the depth of his heart. He gives the brocha not only with the words, he gives it from the depth of his heart. And that's why it has a gewaltige koach to be chal. So the Torah wants to teach us. Lovon, he's take a Rosh, Lovon. He has a Tzelem Elokim, says the Sforne. He has a Tzelem Elokim, and he gives a brocha from the depth of his heart. It has a gewaltige koach shetochel yoyset sherava chalois, because it's a brocha that comes from oimek hanefesh. That's when a father gives. Sometimes a father could think, I could give a brocha to my children. I'm not a big tzaddik. Could be. Could be if you want to give a bracha to someone else and you don't feel you're in such a madrege that you can give it from the depth of your heart, so maybe you're not the one to give a bracha. But for your own children, for your own einiklich, who then, if not the father or the Zayde, should give a bracha? It's from the depth of your heart. If Lovan's bracha, the Torah could quote, Vayavorach Hashem, that even Shimon Levi got a bracha from the Zayde Lovan. It's so gewaltig. So no one of us is worse, Chaz v'shulam. So for sure, how gewaltig our brucha could be. I once said of someone, why do we see that people, when it comes that a person gives them a klala, how do you say a klala? Curses them. We are afraid, Chaz v'shulam. But when a person gives you a brucha, you don't take it so serious as a curse. A curse you take more serious. He answered, because usually a curse is from the depth of the heart. And the bruch is menasofa v'lachitz. Oy, oy, oy. So that's why we have to see that when we give a bruch, if chaz v'shalom we shouldn't give a curse, but if it comes out, it should be menasofa v'lachitz, not from the heart. But a bruch should be ma'oimek alev, should be with the whole rotzen. Because when you give a bruch with the rotzen and you have a tzelem elikim, it has a gewaltige power to be chal. And I wanted to finish with just this Sefer Chasidim. Sefer Chasidim says a gewaltige zach. It says like this in Sefer Chasidim. Hinei matoyve manoim sheves achim gam yochad. Zog the Sefer Chasidim. Those two words, achim gam, are begematria 102, like the word bonim. Achim gam is begematria bonim. That's all it says in Sefer Chasidim, Simeshiyah Mem Gimel. So there's a parish on the Sefer Chasidim from the Chidu. His parish is called Bris Avois. He brings down a gewaltige Sache over there, the Chidu in his parish, that a person should see that he shouldn't be hard, how do you call it, heavy. He shouldn't be heavy on his big children. Bonav Agdoilim, he should not be machbid oil, al Bonav Agdoilim, elu yachshivem ka'achim. He should refer to them as to his brothers. And in that way, they're going to be noichim zeim zeh, and he's going to live with his children b'shalva. And he brings down the Chidah Arai from this week's parsha. It says in Posik that Yaakov called, he says, Vayoyme Yaakov le'echov likti avonim. They should gather stones and make a gal. Who is Echov? Rashi says, Hein Bonov. They were his children. And why does he call them Echov? Because they were like brothers to him when he was in Eist Chore, when he needed to go out to Melchume, they were like brothers to him. So we see from this Rashi that Yaakov Avinu called his children Echov. Zog the Chidu, that this is what the Sefer Hasidim meant. When the children are small, you have to be able to give them a petchele, a fiver sometimes if you need. Maybe you shouldn't give it in the face, you can give it in the feet. But they have to know, you have to know of giving them a small punishment in order they should be good. But once they are big, the children, adarabbe. Be machshav your children like they are your brothers, and that's the remez of Achim Gam. Hine matoivim anoim sheves. If you want to have a toiv and a noim sheves, Achim Gam Yochad, your children should be considered like your brothers, and that's in that way you're going to have a peaceful life. B'shiyata d'shmaya, get Shabbos, get Shabbos.
Just a small word. Next week is the Basayim Shirat.
When?
Next week, Thursday night.
Yeah.
Friday. I need a big yeshiva. If I have the yeshiva, I'm going to throw a huge party.
Oh!
Leile Nishmas.
Leile Nishmas, the Heilige Basayim.
I'll throw a party here and in my house, both.
Okay, perfect.
This is Thursday
Very,
night or
it's
Friday?
very big. I'm giving a suda for Leile Nishmas Basayim. It's very big.
It's on Thursday night.
One second, there's a minute over here, so let's wish. What's your name that eats the yeshiva?
Sweet Ben Krangel.
Zvi Ben Kreindl should be'ezras Hashem Yisborach have a gewaltige yeshiva. Take him a yard in the schis from the Basayim. Abayni Avrum Doiv Ben Abduvit. Schis a Yugen Aleini. Yeah, if there's a minion.
So we say Baruch?
Yeah, I don't know.